Back to the starting lineup with Scott Purrier, Ned Reynolds, and Art Haynes on your home for the St. Louis Blues. 102.1 The One.
Thanks for joining us on the starting lineup, and welcome back. Ned Reynolds along with
Scott Purrier.
Okay, we're into our lead stories, headlines, fire away.
Yeah, well, let's talk some baseball. And again, our lineup, Lindell Scranton going to join us here in about 10 minutes from the Springfield Daily Citizen. John Neighbors of Inside Arkansas, the program that runs at noon on this station today. For a full hour, we're going to talk to John about the Arkansas basketball and the baseball season so far. And then Coach Casey Woods, the new head coach of Missouri State football, will join us at 8:30 to talk about spring drills and how things are looking there. Baseball, Major League Baseball over the weekend. The Cardinals, good opening, take 2 out of 3 in their series with the Tampa Bay Rays. Yesterday was a wild one, an 11-7 loss, but watched this team on Friday and Saturday, actually Thursday and Saturday, and I really like their spunk. I mean, they're aggressive, they play with like a team that's got a chip on their shoulder because they've heard how bad they're going to be, and just the young guys that don't know they're not supposed to be good.
Well, they have rallied twice to get wins. Didn't rally yesterday, but I found it, I don't know any significance in this or not, but the starting pitcher yesterday was the same guy who started down here on Monday night. Marmol wanting to stay within the rotation, so he started Dustin May, and indeed the kid got blasted. He got hit very hard in the first and second innings, and that's really where the game got out of hand. Tampa Bay is not a good. They're not a great club. They're, I guess, viable, but they don't impress me at all. And yet they came away with 17 hits in this game and won it 11-7. Okay, that's going to happen. Now the Cardinals get the New York Mets tonight. Home series again up at Busch Stadium. This will be interesting to see what happens to them.
It will be. Clay Holmes and Kyle Leahy, the matchup tonight, 6:40 first pitch. You can hear it right here on 102.1 The One. Really thought Michael McGreevy pitched really well.
He did.
On Saturday. Kind of got screwed out of a win there because the bullpen. They got to stop the Stanek at the back end of the bullpen.
Here you have the oldest player on the team, Stanek, and he comes in here. He's a former New York Met, as a matter of fact. Came over, and he's supposed to be their closer, their stopper. Oh, I don't think so.
He can be. I mean, they need to probably just, JoJo Romero was good in that role last year when they let him do it. Maybe go back to him. They need somebody just to settle in back there, and Stanek is just too all over the place. Which game was it? He walked 3 in a row.
That was the Saturday game.
Yeah, yeah. And you're just sitting there going, my gosh, this is your closer?
He walked the bases loaded and somehow got out of it with a strikeout, as a matter of fact. Yeah. But the fact of the matter remains, he made that jam by himself. Nobody else. He's walking everybody.
Speaking of teams with back end of the bullpen problems, maybe not anymore, but the Royals, they do beat the Braves 4-1 yesterday to salvage the finale of the series. The loss on Saturday, they're looking good. They bring in Estevez. He's not right, and they kind of got a break because, first of all, his velocity in spring training was down almost 5 miles per hour.
Yeah.
And when that's the situation, that's a problem. There's something really wrong. He was topping out at 89 and 90 in spring training. Comes in, and he does take a comebacker off the ankle, I believe. But he was in a boot yesterday, and it was almost let's put him in a boot so we can try Lucas Erceg back there.
Bring in somebody.
Yeah, and because Erceg comes in, he's throwing gas. He's 98 to 100. He's had that role in the past before. I think you'll see them kind of settle into him, and what they do and how they get around this is that they say, well, let's put Estevez in a lower leverage role and try to get him right and stuff. And sometimes you just may not be able to get him right if there's something going on with his arm there. But anyway, the Royals get the win 4-1 yesterday.
Seth Lugo, got to give him a lot of credit. Pitched very well. This guy's not a kid, folks. Been around forever and ever. I'm trying to remember. He played in the World Baseball Classic, and I think it was for Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico. I'm not sure which, even though he's born in Louisiana and went to college in Louisiana. He still had ties to one of the Caribbean nations.
He's kind of like Waka. And they got guys that are just guys you don't think a lot about, but they just go out and they pitch.
Correct.
They get it done. They keep you in the game, and if your offense gets going, you win the game, and if you don't, you get beat because they're going to give up usually 2 or 3 runs, but they hope you score 4, 5, 6 or more there too. So Royals home opener today. They got the Twins in. It's a 3:10 first pitch. It's Bubic and Woods Richardson, the matchup there in that one. Should be very festive atmosphere up in Kansas City for that one today. So after your first half week, basically, some of the highlights, the Blue Jays, the Yankees, the Marlins, the Brewers, and the Dodgers are the only 3-0 teams coming out of it. Of course, some of those, I think the Brewers had the White Sox.
They did.
The Marlins had the Rockies. So you kind of got to throw an asterisk on some of those. The Giants are 0-3 and have scored 1 run in the debut of Tony Vitello, the longtime Tennessee head coach, first-time manager for the Giants. He's taking the blame for it. He's going to have to stop that. That works in a college game. Over 162 games, people are going to get tired of hearing, it's my fault we only scored 1 run, because he's not batting. Yeah,
no,
he can't do it.
It's his first year there. The one that I took interest in for the attendance was the series between the Rockies and the Marlins, because just simply these are 2 also-ran teams playing in Miami. Opening game, 10,000.
Yeah.
That is inexcusable. But that's what they have. That's what they draw. That's what they've decided on. And staying in the Miami market, I guess maybe it has some level of viability to it, but it certainly doesn't perform well. And yet, by the same token, going to another sport, did you watch any of the United Football League? Did you see any of that?
I did not, no.
Well, the Battlehawks played on, and I wanted to see a panoramic view of the Dome of the Americas in St. Louis. And I think, God bless, they've got a pretty good crowd. Turned out 31,000, beat all the other teams in the UFL as far as attendance, and they have ever since the existence of that league.
They still block off the upper bowl, right?
It's blocked off, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got the Major League Baseball package, and so I like to tune in and just see. And in that Marlins-Rockies series after the opener, if Major League Baseball only allowed teams to play with 1 ball and you had to throw it back, they'd have about a 15-minute delay while somebody went and retrieved the baseball on a foul ball.
Nobody there.
Nobody in those sections of the stands. A couple other notes. Chase DeLauder, the Guardians rookie outfielder, has 4 homers in his first 3 games. So does Munetaka Murakami, the White Sox air quote rookie, came over from the Japanese league. He homered in his first 3 games. Those are tying records for MLB rookies there. But DeLauder is a guy that's had a lot of promise. He was a first-round pick back in 22, but hasn't been able to stay healthy. And so he's got 4 homers now in 4 games. I know the Guardians are hoping he can stay healthy and have a big year. Had a great story and a not-so-great story on the golf world. Gary Woodland wins the Houston Open by 5 shots. It's his first win since 2019 U.S. Open. Woodland came out back at the TPC a couple weeks ago and admitted he's been battling post-traumatic stress disorder. He had a brain surgery back in 23 to remove a lesion that was on the section of the brain that triggers panic and fear. And he's had some trouble with that, anxiety since the surgery. He actually sat down in an interview and talked about it. And so it was really cool to see him get the win yesterday. And the guys in the final pairing, as they're walking up 18, pulling over and clapping for him as well.
What's interesting about it, too, Scott, is the fact that the surgical procedure did not remove all of the lesion. So there's still some segments of it, and he has suffered from this. Matter of fact, I think the one story was I think the lights are so bright. The sunshine is so bright for him. He got into a pain jag and had to excuse himself and go in the men's room and cry himself back into whatever it is, sobriety, I guess you would call it. But the fact is, the guy came on and win, and he's a very popular figure, University of Kansas guy.
Yeah, a guy that's very well liked among his peers out there, just one of the good guys on the tour. And he had a tournament where it's triggered by people getting close to him.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like a marshal or somebody inside the ropes, and he turned around and somebody was kind of in his space, in his mind. And he actually played a tournament a couple weeks ago where his vision was blurry because of that. Mm-hmm. And so a guy really battling some stuff there. Good to see him get the win. And, of course, on the flip side, not a good weekend for Tiger Woods. Friday afternoon he gets another DUI arrest in Jupiter, Florida, single vehicle rollover crash. He was lethargic coming out of the crash, passed a breathalyzer but refused to take a urinalysis. And so, all speculation indications are it's medications that he's abusing there. And the guy's had, I saw some people poking fun. The guy's got a situation here.
I feel badly for him because he is obviously in pain. Think of all the surgical procedures. I think it's something like 17 or something.
7 on his back. Seven
alone on his back. Yeah. Okay, he's recovering from the ruptured Achilles tendon and things of that nature. Folks, this guy is hurting. Now, that, again, I know he has multitudes of millions and billions of dollars and so forth and so on. So use some of that and hire a chauffeur.
Get a driver.
Got to have that.
When we were in Arizona, we saw the driverless cars now. You could buy one of those, Waymo, I think they're called.
Something like that.
That drive down the road and have no driver. They're controlled by satellite. Buy one, Tiger, and when you need to go out, go that route. So anyway, we'll see. But you're not going to see him at the Masters next week.
No.
And stuff, too. So, all right, our next guest is teed up and ready to go. Let's take a break and visit with Lionel Scranton.
Starting lineup takes a pause. Back in a second.
You're listening to the starting lineup with Scott Puryear, Ned Reynolds, and Art Haynes on 102.1 The One.